So where the F is Santa? I'll tell you where. This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel, and I am your host, moderator, and all-around nice guy, Edward Anderson. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't construe anything that I mention in any of my videos as financial advice. Always do your own research before doing anything with your money. Today, we're going to be talking about where the heck is the Santa Claus rally. You know that I worked on Wall Street for an awful long time, so I can give you some insight into the way that Wall Street thinks. Now, Wall Street has a habit of trying to take complicated situations and theories and boiling them down to, bumper stickers, like sell in May and go away and the Santa Claus rally. I got news for you guys. It's not that simple. The Santa Claus rally. Okay, they've got big theories behind the Santa Claus rally. And this year, we saw all these talking heads on TV assuring us that we're going to get that Santa Claus rally because inflation isn't a threat anymore, and the Federal Reserve is doing all the right things, and all the rest of it. And then what happens is reality hits. Listen, this is a game in a large degree, okay, the stock market. You have to learn how to think like a trader, not like an investor. Don't fall for the garbage that Wall Street feeds you. These guys are perennially wrong. These million-dollar analysts who go to Ivy League schools to learn how to be wrong, these guys are not that impressive. This year, if you've been watching my little tips along the way, you would have done a whole lot better than if you had listened to these million-dollar analysts on Wall Street. I like to cut through the noise and look at what the market is telling me, because the market itself, as a collective, is always right. So if you learn how to read the charts, that's all you really need to know. Now, if you want to know the fundamentals behind stuff, okay, I guess that's useful. But in the end, the only thing that moves anything is buying pressure. Whether it's stocks, whether it's a market, whether it's real estate, it doesn't matter. Whatever the underlying product is, the only thing that's going to move the price of the product is buying pressure. And you see that in the chart. So let's take a look at the chart. Now, this is a chart from my thumbnail. Okay, and see this rally that we've had? Okay, so this is the 3-month chart on the market. Okay, so the market did, after putting that double bottom there, it did have a rally because the bulls are desperate to try to get a rally going. And I'm sure some of it was short covering in here. But this rally, if we look back, this is the double top. Okay, but this entire move here was on speculation that inflation now is under control and the Federal Reserve is going to start to pivot. Okay, so these analysts must live in a bubble. They're not in the real world. If they think that inflation is under control, these guys have somebody else doing their grocery shopping for them. They have somebody else putting gas in their car. They have somebody else, living their lives for them. Because for those of us who are living in the real world, we know that inflation is not under control. It's just getting worse. And there's no end in sight for a whole lot of reasons that I covered in my other videos. But there's a point here that I want to make for you going into the last couple of weeks of the year here. Let's take a look at the chart we just looked at, but let's blow it up a little bit. Let's take this is zero in. You might think there's no information in here. For me, there is a lot of information. Each bar here represents 1 day of activity in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And these bars, some of these bars are very big. Look at this guy right here. That's a massive bar. So the bulls were really trying to get something going there, but they couldn't get it to follow through. And it came down to this support down here. And then they tried one more desperate attempt. Boom. This was a big telltale day for me. See, that market had a massive move up, got right up to the previous high there here that it put in a week earlier, but then it sold off. At the end of the day, it closed 600 points off of the high that put in that day. This was a telling day for me. And then sure enough, what happened over the following days? It broke through this support. And now we see that the next support level is down here just under the $29,000 level in the stock market. I do think it's going to get there. And if it breaks through that level, then it's Katie bar the door. We are in real serious trouble. Listen, just because the calendar says that we should be having a Santa Claus rally means it has to happen. Okay, it doesn't have to happen. And if you look at the clues, I don't think it's going to happen. And in fact, going into the next year, we have a lot of issues coming up that you don't hear the mainstream media talk about. But I talk about them in my channel. I tell you things that the other guys are not telling you. But I have been giving you a heads up on a lot of things this year that other people did not tell you about that actually came true. It's not because I'm particularly brilliant. It's because, I've been around the block a few times and I know how to cut through the noise. If China does decide to invade Taiwan, anything with semiconductor chips in it are going to be really hard to get, because where are most of the semiconductor chips in the world made? China and Taiwan. I did a whole video on this topic telling you, if you want a new cell phone, go out and get it now. If you want to upgrade your computer, do it now. If you want to get a car, anything with a chip in it, okay, they're going to be really hard to get, if not impossible to get. It could actually throw us into an actual depression, because our economy is so reliant on semiconductor chips that when access to them disappears, modern life as we know it is going to maybe not come to a screeching halt, but it's going to be slowed down an awful lot. Now, I'm not predicting that China will invade Taiwan, although I think that the odds are tipping in that direction. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it does not happen. But if that happens and we start seeing sanctions slapped on China and China retaliates by withholding their chips, I would not want to hold Apple computer stock. I'll tell you that for sure. Apple computer has 90% exposure to China. That's where they make everything. Good luck, Apple. But in terms of the financial markets, we have an awful lot to worry about. And we have a lot of different landmines, any one of which can go off. And if they do, they're going to create a cascading effect. A lot of other landmines around them are going to start going off. And you need to start getting prepared if you're not. You need to reduce your exposure to your bank. The money in your bank is not safe. Besides which, it's a depreciating asset. Number two, take some of that fiat currency that you just got out of the bank and put that into gold and silver. And number three, you have to establish streams of passive recurring income. Those are my 3 recommendations on the Hey Ed channel. I've got a wonderful WhatsApp group that I would love to have you join if you would like. And you can join the rest of us freedom seekers, okay? Because you will be amongst like-minded individuals. So, Ed Anderson signing out.
Copy that.